Chinese companies do crazy things. Imagine this with me. A phone this thin has inside the biggest battery you might ever see, 7,000 milliamperes. And its screen maxes out the meter in terms of specs, real performance, very high brightness, and 3 excellent 50 megapixel cameras, and many other features. All of this is in the Realme 15 Pro, the newest phone from Realme in the upper mid-range category, coming to take the place of the Realme 14 Pro Plus. And if you want a cheaper alternative, we'll also review the Realme 15 5G, which comes to take the place of the old Realme 14 Pro. So what new things do these phones bring us? What are their pros and what are their cons? We'll know everything in today's video. As always, drop your nice like and let's start the review. And let's start with the Pro's cameras, which come with 3 lenses, all of them 50 megapixels like I told you. 2 on the back, the main 50 megapixel lens with an f1.8 aperture, optical stabilization, and a solid Sony IMX896 sensor. And the second lens is 50 megapixels with an f2.0 aperture for ultra-wide shots. And the selfie is also 50 megapixels with an f2.4 aperture. Meanwhile, the Realme 15 comes with a 50 megapixel main camera as well, with optical stabilization and an f1.8 aperture, but with a slightly lower Sony IMX882 sensor. And the second lens is 8 megapixels ultra-wide, and the selfie is also 50 megapixels with an f2.4 aperture. The camera software has a lot of work done on it. Starting with the color modes, now you have a mode called Vibrant, which makes the photos lively, and most of the time you'll use it. Another mode called Crisp, which shuts down the shadows completely and darkens the image a bit if you want that deeper, more dramatic look. And these 2 color modes are available in normal photos and portrait photos. Both phones shoot portrait at 1x and 2x using the main lens, because neither of them has a telephoto lens now, meaning you won't be able to shoot portrait at 3x, 3.5x, or 4x. But you can shoot 4K 60 frames per second with all the lenses on the Realme 15 Pro, and that's a good thing, having 4K 60 available on the main camera, ultra-wide, and the selfie. Meanwhile, the regular 15 shoots 4K 30 frames per second on the main lens and selfie only. There are a lot of cool watermarks you can use on your photos. They fit whatever shooting style you like. Realme likes to give you new things in the camera software every now and then to make you feel the experience is fresh. And here they've taken a party/live event vibe for that guy who's always taking photos in night events and club lighting. I'm honestly not that guy, but I had to tell you. Anyway, let's see the photos coming out from the phones and also compare with last year's Realme generation. Let's agree that the sensor in the main lens of the Realme 15 Pro is very solid. It's the best main lens sensor in all of BBK Group. It produces bright photos with a lot of detail, and the processing rarely misses. You also have 2 processing styles, Vibrant, which I used most of the time, and the second mode, Crisp, if you want deeper, darker photos like I told you. I'm showing you photos from the 15 Pro next to the regular 15, not because I'm comparing them directly, but to show you the difference in image capability, the difference in the bigger, better sensor in the Pro, and also the stronger processor, which we'll talk about in a bit. That definitely plays a role in image processing. Overall, the 15 Pro's photos are definitely very good and better than the 15, but honestly, I don't want to be unfair to the 15. The IMX882 sensor isn't bad, and the phone takes good photos. But of course, in harder shooting situations, you'll find the 15 Pro's images much clearer. It's one of the clearest phones in the upper mid-range category when shooting at 1x and 2x, specifically in low-light or dim environments. The Realme 15 Pro is top tier in that point. And don't worry about zoom portrait stuff, we'll talk about that later. The ultra-wide lens is also a bit, or actually a couple of steps, better on the Pro than the regular 15. It differs in image detail, color tone, and all that. As for the new selfie camera, it's excellent on both phones. Realme really needed to update their old selfie camera because it used to be a weak point. Now, the 50 megapixel selfie on both gives very respectable photos. Yes, there will be some difference in processing because of the different processors, but overall, I'm totally satisfied with the selfie on both new phones. Now let's check out the 15 Pro next to the old 14 Pro Plus. we'll find that the main lens photos are very close between the two because they use the same sensor, with a slight processing advantage in the new 15 Pro. The new processing gives nicer skin tones and a cleaner look. The ultra-wide lens in the new model also has slightly more detail than the old 14 Pro Plus, and the selfie is also better in the 15 Pro compared to the selfie in the 14 Pro Plus. You can see this clearly in the sample photos. So as a camera package, with the 15 Pro, you're getting a very strong main lens, a better ultra-wide, and an excellent selfie, all better than last year. But we lost the telephoto lens that used to separate the Pro Plus from Realme. Of course, this will matter to you if you want to shoot 3x portrait or zoom hard like what the 14 Pro Plus could do. So tell me now, do you actually use the telephoto lens to take zoomed portraits? To zoom in and see far objects with clear detail? Or are you the type who just wants a good main camera, good video quality, and good selfies, and that's enough? I personally don't use the telephoto lens. Tell me in the comments right now and let me know your opinion, because it honestly matters to me a lot. I'll leave you now with video samples from the 15 Pro and the regular 15. Regarding video recording on the 15 and 15 Pro, I'm not comparing them directly, I'm just showing you the difference in price and camera capability. The 15 Pro shoots 4K 60 frames per second, which is of course higher quality than the 4K 30 frames per second that the Realme 15 shoots. Each one is acceptable for its price category. I'm not comparing them, like I said, I'm only showing you the video quality, so if you plan to buy one, you know what to expect. Stabilization, colors, dynamic range, and details. Honestly, I think the quality is good. There isn't a huge difference between them. Let's switch to 2x, we'll see it better on a big screen. Now, let's go to the ultra-wide lens. Oh, I can't go to the ultra-wide on the Realme 15 because I'm shooting in 4K. I have to drop down to 1080p to use the ultra-wide on the regular 15. But on the Realme 15 Pro, as you can see, I switched to ultra-wide normally because all the lenses on the 15 Pro can shoot 4K. Now, for studio recording, if you want to shoot videos and such, I don't really know if the difference is big or not, but of course, the better sensor in the 15 Pro gives better detail in the face and the scene. Let's see in our studio lighting if the difference is big between the 15 Pro and the regular 15. As for the selfie, it's the same difference. 4K 60 frames per second on the Pro and 4K 30 frames per second on the regular 15. Each one is fine for its price category. Let's see if there's a difference in processing since the processors are different. Of course, there will be differences in skin tone, color, dynamic range, detail, and all of that. We'll see it when we look at both screens side by side. And both phones can shoot wide selfie at 0.8x. Now let's move into performance. The Pro comes with a newer and stronger upper mid-range processor from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4, while the regular 15 comes with a slightly weaker processor, the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Plus. Both phones use fast UFS 3.1 storage and come with Android 15 with a promise of 3 years of Android updates. Let's start with the Pro. It improved compared to the old Realme 14 Pro Plus that came with the 7 Gen 3. The difference shows clearly in benchmark numbers like Antutu and Geekbench in the CPU, but the big difference is in the GPU performance. Graphics performance increased nicely compared to the previous generation. Also, something important I noticed, the cooling chamber is very good. This phone, honestly guys, feels like the least heating phone in the upper mid-range category so far. It almost doesn't heat up at all.
This phone with the 7 Gen 4 processor and Realme's excellent interface, an interface with absolutely no issues, gives you very smooth performance. The phone's performance is very respectable and app opening speed is excellent. This is a phone, honestly, that will give you everything you need in the upper mid-range category in terms of smoothness, fluidity, and a premium user experience without any problem. And if you want to switch between apps, it happens smoothly and effortlessly. I faced no issues at all with the 15 Pro, and I can clearly feel an improvement in the performance experience compared to the older 14 Pro Plus. Yes, it's not a huge difference because the 14 Pro Plus already had good performance, but the real difference I felt was in GPU performance. PUBG runs at 90 frames on the 15 Pro, and the experience, guys, is genuinely impressive, very smooth and enjoyable. You will actually love gaming on this phone. It doesn't drain the battery aggressively, and it doesn't heat up much. You know, the ideal phone for someone who wants to run PUBG without dealing with battery or heating problems. The 15 Pro really nails this point. So basically, the 15 Pro jumped ahead in the ranking of upper mid-range processors and became the number 2 spot, beating the Vivo V60, even though it has the same chipset, just because the storage here is faster UFS 3.1. As for the cheaper option, the 15, honestly, it won't disappoint you. I'm actually surprised by how good its performance is. Very fast. Yes, of course, the processor is weaker than the 15 Pro, especially in graphics performance, but honestly, the phone's performance still surprised me in a good way. Even when I did a speed test between both phones, the difference wasn't huge. And I'm not telling you don't buy the 15 Pro and save money, I'm just showing you both options, because there are other things that might affect your choice, which we'll talk about in a bit. So the regular 15 also has very good performance. Very fast, and it also doesn't heat up, which is weird in a good way. These two phones really seem to have a demon inside them when it comes to heat control. And yes, it also runs PUBG at 90 frames, and gaming performance is very good, especially with GT mode enabled on both phones. I forgot to tell you, it's on the Pro and also on the regular 15. It makes the gaming experience smoother and nicer. But of course, there's a difference between them. PUBG performance on the Pro is stronger because the GPU is stronger by around 40%, or actually 70 or 80% more, but okay. Considering the lower price and overall processor experience, the regular 15 has no problem at all. But there's a point you need to know. Just like I told you, the 15 Pro got an upgrade in the processor. As for the 15, it comes as the successor to the 14 Pro, and it basically has the same Dimensity 7300 energy processor, which is no different from the 7300 Plus. So there is no real jump in performance. But don't compare it to the Realme 14 5G. That one was a freak accident, a mistake even, because it had a stronger Snapdragon 6 Gen 4 processor, and I already told you that phone won't be repeated. But as a package, processor, screen, camera, battery, if you take all of these together, the 15 overall has more weight than the 14, especially in cameras, because Realme 14 had a very modest camera. But the Realme 15's camera is very good. I'm literally comparing it to the 15 Pro for you here. Now, AI features. Both phones have Realme's AI features. With a long press on the power button, you can talk directly to Gemini and ask it anything. And the strange new feature from Realme, the AI Genie, the genie inside the phone, is a nice touch because there's a crazy trend right now with AI photo editing. My whole Facebook timeline is people editing photos with AI. I don't know why, honestly, but let's agree, it's something people want, and Realme is delivering it. So this Genie, just put your photo, type anything, or even talk to it with your voice, and it understands and uses AI to edit the photo however you want. A very nice option, I can't deny that, but me personally, I don't use it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Tell me in the comments. And now let's move to the impressive screens. Listen to the Pro's specs. 6.8-inch AMOLED, 1.5K resolution, 144 Hz, 6500 nits brightness, 4608 Hz dimming rate, quad curved display with slim bezels, and Gorilla Victus 7 protection. Meanwhile, the regular is 6.77 inches AMOLED, Full HD+, 144 Hz, 4500 nits brightness, and 3840 Hz flickering. This one is a completely flat display with slightly thicker bezels than the Pro. Honestly, Realme is offering a very strong display package in the 15 series, and both phones support HDR10+. Let's look specifically at the Pro screen. Tell me, what does it lack? Large size, excellent resolution. For anyone who says Full HD looks soft, here you go, 1.5K. And the colors are excellent with absolutely no flaws. The dimming rate is great. This is the highest rate I've seen in the upper mid-range category, and it has strong screen protection. This whole display package is honestly impressive. Slim bezels, everything. But what really shocked me about this phone is its brightness. 6500 nits peak, 1800 nits manual. That's extremely high for the upper mid-range category. And the idea that you can manually reach 1800 nits yourself, not needing to wait under the sun for auto brightness to kick in, is amazing. You just tap extra brightness and boom, the screen lights up insanely. It becomes the brightest manual mode compared to all other upper mid-range phones. I tested them side by side, no joke. I'm preparing something for you soon. And the crazy thing, it doesn't drop brightness after a while. We all know mid-range phones that push high brightness, then dim after a few minutes. I don't know what they did here. There's a demon inside this phone too. The brightness never drops. Comparing the new Pro to the 14 Pro Plus, huge difference. The 15 Pro is clearly brighter. Also something I noticed, the curve radius on the corners looks fancier and cleaner than the old Pro Plus. A small detail, but worth mentioning. And if you don't want a curved screen, if you're someone who hates curves for any reason, the regular 15 comes with a completely flat display, and it's excellent. Realme claims it hits 4500 nits, and honestly, when I tested it, I found it to be just as bright as the 15 Pro. In its price segment, that brightness is insane. Huge brightness, very high. So yeah, you can compare freely with the Pro, and that's why I told you, the 15 series has a very respectable display package. But there's something I need to explain, bear with me. The 144Hz refresh rate. Realme is giving you tech that's actually higher than what you need. Why? Because Android and most of the daily apps we use only support up to 120 Hz. They don't support more. You might ask, then what's the benefit of 144 Hz? If you manually set the refresh rate to the highest level, the Pro lets you go into apps individually and raise the refresh rate all the way up. But the regular 15 doesn't. You only control refresh rate from outside. You can't raise it per app. Anyway, I checked which apps could reach 144 Hz. None of the apps we actually use. The only ones that supported it were weird apps like Calculator, Compass, and Recorder. These three apps, I absolutely don't need 144 Hz on. I'm just explaining. This isn't a flaw or anything. I'm just showing you that Realme is giving you more tech than you currently need. Maybe one day apps will support 144 Hz, and the experience will get even smoother. For now, I'm happy with the screens.
And let's take a look at the design. The Pro's back is one single piece, meaning the camera rectangle melts into the back with no separation at all. I have the green color, and it's a leather-like dark green, not a light green. There's also a white color that looks really nice, honestly. It's beautiful, but of course, because my luck is terrible, I ended up with the green one. Anyway, the white one has a glass back. The rear camera design changed completely. It's no longer the usual big circle we've seen from Realme. Now you get a rectangle with three large lenses that look neat. The whole design language changed a bit because people were honestly getting bored of the big circle Realme used to use in previous models. The Pro is curved all around. The back and the screen both curve into the thin plastic frame. The weight is good, 187 grams, and the thickness is 7.8 millimeters. You honestly wouldn't believe this phone has all these features inside. And the regular 15 comes with the same design language in two colors. The pink one, which I have, and honestly I don't like the color. The titanium color looks much better, and that's the second color option. And as I told you, this one has a flat screen, so the back is completely flat as well with no curves. Its weight is 183 grams, and its thickness is 7.7 millimeters. Of course, you get cases inside both phone boxes to increase protection, and there's a very nice feature, a rear RGB notification light on both phones. It lights up clearly and brightly, and you can control what it reacts to and which lighting style it uses. You can even keep it always on if you want, just walking around like the mayor of the party. But no, it's mainly just a notification light you'll see when the phone is face down. Very nice. And of course, both phones have the highest water and dust resistance, IP68 and IP69. Don't worry at all about water on these phones. Now tell me your opinion. Which design do you think looks better, the new series or the old one? By the way, both phones have under-display fingerprint sensors that are insanely fast, some of the fastest you'll try. They both have an extra microphone for noise cancellation. Both phones also support NFC. For the people who keep saying it doesn't have NFC, no, it definitely has NFC. And both phones have always-on display, which stays on for a bit and then turns off. Their speakers are stereo. The Pro is louder, but at max volume, there's a tiny bit of vibration in the area under the camera. Nothing major, but the volume is very high. You might wish for a bit more bass, but overall the sound is good. As for the regular 15, it also has stereo sound. It's loud too, but to reach the same loudness as the Pro at 100%, you'll find yourself raising the volume to around 300%. Its sound is slightly lower, but still very good. And both phones have a real proximity sensor that shuts the screen off on your ear during calls without any errors. And both phones have excellent network and Wi-Fi performance with no issues at all. Let's look now at the impressive battery. The Pro has a 7,000 mAh battery, the strongest battery I've tested so far. Its real endurance is excellent. This phone basically placed itself as #1 in the battery category among upper-middle range phones. It lasts a day and a half with moderate use, and maybe 2 full days if your usage is light. You'll forget where your charger is. And the charger is 80 watts, charging very fast under an hour. This phone's battery and screen package is honestly top tier. And the regular 15 also has a good battery, 6,500 mAh, not much lower than the Pro. It will also last you long, but the charger is weaker, 45 watts, so it'll take a bit longer to fully charge. I wish the regular one had a stronger charger, honestly. As for the prices, the 15 Pro with 256GB and 12GB RAM is $380, and the regular 15 with 256GB and 12GB RAM is $320. All prices mentioned are approximate estimates just to give you a clear idea. Check local prices in your country for accuracy. Both phones support dual SIM cards, and you cannot add a memory card, and both phones do not support eSIM. I really want to thank you if you made it with me to the end of the video. I know I talked for a long time, but I wanted to tell you every small detail about the Realme 15 series because a lot of people are very interested in it. And I know you definitely want to see comparisons between these phones and many others. So write me a comment right now and tell me which comparison you want to see, Realme 15 Pro versus what in the upper middle range category, and Realme 15 versus what in the middle range. And make sure you subscribe if this is your first time seeing us on YouTube, and turn on the bell so you can see new smartphone reviews as soon as they come out.